Hello everyone, my name is Neela and you're with our Wednesday English shows with Dr. Azita Sayan. You can watch this show on Instagram, YouTube and Facebook live. You can share the show after each program on your social media and share your comments on our Instagram page so we can address your questions. Today we are gonna talk about how to stand on your values. But before that, I want to tell you about our upcoming events. The first event that we're very excited about is the gala, the Valentine Gala in Toronto, which is going to be on 3rd of February, 7 p.m. And team of Toronto going to be there, the family in Toronto that we have, Dr. Sayan going to be there, and it's a very special night that you can gather with your loved ones and celebrate. So Valentine Gala in Toronto, 3rd of February. Get your tickets right now at embracegrowth.com or the application Embrace Growth, or call 437-886-1361, local number, and you can get your ticket right away. Another event that we're going to have is this seminar from Getting to Know to a Lasting Relationship by Dr. Sayan in Vancouver, which is on 8th of February. This seminar was sold out in Toronto and Los Angeles, so we suggest that you purchase your tickets right now for Vancouver. You can again get your tickets online, embracegrowth.com, application of Embrace Growth, or you can call our 2 local numbers on the poster and get a gift for the loved ones in February as Valentine gift. Dr. Azita Sayan is licensed marriage and family therapist specialized in chemical dependency and addiction. Come, Doctor. Hi.
Hello, everybody, and we're getting very close to me leaving again to go to Toronto for all of these events. Yes. I'm very, very excited. I'll be in Toronto for the advanced honor, integrity, and mastery workshop for our heroes, for men, and also the advanced women-only workshop for women. Yes. So it's a very exciting 2 weeks that I'm going to be in Toronto, as well as having a gala. Some people had asked me about the gala before I get to the topic of the show today, and why we're having the gala, and what's the significance of it, and why are we celebrating love. And one of the things that you should know is that when people attend workshops, they gain a real freedom and love for other human beings, and love for their families, and love for the people that they're in a relationship with, and love for the community, and a real sense of happiness, and a real sense of peace, and a better understanding of themselves, and feeling like the whole world is giving them a new life, a new birth. And so the event that we're having is to celebrate the new life, the new opportunities, the coming, the growth that has happened for the people who have participated in the workshop, and their families and their friends. We're inviting other people who are not graduates of our program to attend the gala if they wish, and to join us in a celebration of life and love and growth and family values and humanity and joy and peace. So we have these galas once a year in different parts of the world, and this is Toronto. I realize that there are some things happening in some painful situations that have happened in Toronto for the people of my country, Iran, and also Canadians, and I think really people all over the world, because this was such a horrible tragedy that happened. And I know that a lot of people are grieving and sad. And, when people are sad and grieving, sometimes it's hard for them to understand, why would other people want to celebrate? We should all be sad together. Well, different people have different ways of facing tragedies or sadness. My invitation has been, when you're in the face of a tragedy, you should appreciate the life and the opportunity that has been given to you, and that you should be grateful for the fact that you have something, and to say thanks and to give thanks and to honor the opportunity that you have to be with your loved ones. And that when you don't give thanks for that opportunity, and you don't honor it, then for me it's as if you're really ungrateful for the fact that you have this life that you've been given. And it's important that we celebrate the life that we've been given. So my invitation is, even if your hearts are broken, even if you have real sadness in your heart, come and be with us, and let us hold you and embrace you and show you to celebrate life is also a part of grieving. It isn't that if you are grieving, you cannot celebrate and you cannot sing and you cannot dance. Let us show you that it can be done in a different way, because I have learned in a very beautiful way that the celebration of life is a very, very important thing. And since we're talking about values today, this is one of my values, and it's one of the values that I teach people, that it's really important to celebrate life and to be grateful for all of what you have been given, the enormous generosity of the universe that gives to you so many things all the time. And sometimes we're so busy being upset about things that we want that we don't have, that we forget to be grateful and thankful and joyous for what we do have. I realize that some people may be feeling right now like, well, what do I have? I don't have anything. But I can tell you this, when you focus on what you don't have takes over your whole life, and you feel like you don't have anything. But when you begin to focus on what you do have, the things that you have begin to increase and appreciate and grow. So my invitation to you is, come and celebrate with us what you do have, and watch how celebrating that and appreciating that and being grateful for that will give you more joy and happiness and love and togetherness. And it's up to you, but that's what we celebrate. And that's one of the values that I have, and it's one of the values that I teach, is being grateful. So we talked about, I think the subject of our show is how to stand for your values. I talk to people all the time, and I say to them, what are your values? And it's so funny because people say, what do you mean? I have a lot of values. And I say, okay, so tell me what they are. And a lot of people can't tell me what their values are. You have to be willing to sit down with yourself and ask yourself a very difficult question. What do I really value in life? And are those values that I'm willing to fight for, that I'm willing to die for, that I'm willing to spend my whole entire life standing for them? Because if you don't stand for what you value, something really awful happens in life. You become worthless. You become worthless. If you don't stand for your values, then you are not worth anything. Because what life is about, how life measures you, how other people measure how to treat you as a person who's worthy, respectable, honorable, worthy of respect and being treated with love and being treated with kindness and being treated with honor, is the way that you honor yourselves. But how and what you are honoring is your values. If you say, my value is honesty, and then people lie to you and you don't do anything. If you say, my value is faithfulness, and then people cheat on you and you tolerate it. If you say, my value is loyalty, and then people are not loyal to you and they stab you in the back and they talk behind your back, or they share your secrets with other people and they dishonor you, and then you don't stand for it and you don't have any reaction and you don't set any boundaries, then you are the person who is stepping over your own values. You don't stand for it. And that will keep happening over and over again. If you say, my values are love, and people treat you unlovingly, and you don't stand for that, then what happens? You're the one who's saying, really, I value this, but I'm not really worth loving. I'm not worth someone being honest with me. I'm not worth people being faithful or loyal. You know, sometimes I ask people, and they don't really know what the real values are. And a lot of times they tell me, yeah, these are my values. But I look at their lives and they're not standing for those values. And when I say something really terrible happens, your values are like a house inside of which you are protected from rain, from storm, from cold, from heat, from wind, from other people attacking you, from all kinds of things. Your house is really where you live in safety. And imagine that that house is your values. And when you don't value them, one wall breaks down, then the windows break down, then the roof falls, then the ground cracks. So your values is what keeps your entire home together, and that you're living in that home. And that's why protecting your values and standing for them are so important. People tell me, yeah, I want to stand for my values, but what happens is other people are going to act this way or that way. Well, people have tested you and they have realized that you're not really standing for your values. So they have understood that they can act however they want and nothing is going to happen. And you have proven to them that they actually can mess with you and step all over your values, and that you don't really value those values yourself, you just say you do. In other words, it's not going to have any consequences or cost to them if they step over those values. You say it, you get mad, you get angry, maybe you don't even talk to them for a while, but eventually they know that they can bring you around and talk to you, and you're gonna, they can schmooze you, and then it goes back and things work out. So it's not only in relationship to people in your family or in romantic relationships or in a marriage that values are important. Another place where values are important is with your health. You may say, I value my beauty, or I value my body, or I value being healthy, but then you don't exercise, you don't go to the doctor, you don't eat the right foods, and you're not clean, and you don't smell good, and you don't look your most beautiful, but you tell people that, yes, it's really important to me, but they look at you and they go, but if it's really important to you, why is your skin so terrible? Why is your hair not healthy? Why do you not smell good? Why are your teeth crooked? Why are you fat? Or why are you so skinny? You don't really eat right. Or why are you always tired? You don't really sleep well. Or I see you eating all of this unhealthy food, and you never go to the doctor. You don't even have health insurance. So when you say, or look at the way you're dressed, your clothes are not, they don't look nice, and so we can say something but not really mean it. So it shows that it's not really a value. Another place where you may not value yourself is your environment, your house, your car, your workplace. It may be dirty or smelly or unorganized or unkempt, or you only clean it when you have guests. Us Persians especially, we clean up when there's somebody coming to visit, but otherwise it's a bloody mess. So it's really important that you live in a clean, beautiful, peaceful place that smells really good, and you really like it, and it's peaceful and organized. And a lot of people don't realize how important it is to have a beautiful. It doesn't matter if the space that you're living in is a little corner of someone's living room. If that corner, you organize it and it looks really beautiful and clean, and like even in that, I remember last year we went someplace and we were in a cabin, and the cabin that we were in, only one room had a closet. It was like 3 bedrooms, but they said it was 3 bedrooms, but there were no closets except one bedroom had a little itty bitty closet, and that was my bedroom. So everybody else who was living in that cabin with me for a week, they didn't have a closet. And it was really amazing because it was my mother and my sister and my sister-in-law. And for that week that we were there, I looked and I saw how amazingly, beautifully organized people can be, even though they don't have a closet, even though there is a very limited space where you can put your items. And I saw that my sister made herself shelves, and my mother created a beautiful area of the room where she actually decorated it so you couldn't see that she was hanging her clothes. And my sister-in-law made the living room into a beautiful bedroom, and she kind of managed to make a actual closet out of her suitcase, where the clothes were put in different piles that were matching, and she could exactly take the outfit she wanted without disturbing anything else and get dressed every single day. So I want you to know that it doesn't matter how your environment is big or small or beautiful. It's about you actually managing to have integrity in that space. Another thing that's really important that a lot of people don't pay attention to is their finances. Having values regarding your finances. Do you owe anybody money? Does anybody owe you money? Have you taken money, haven't told anybody, and that you need to give that money back? These are really important things, different areas of life that you have to think about. What are my values regarding my health, my space where I live, being cleansing, being clean, being organized, living in a beautiful space, my body, my clothes, my relationships, my relationship to the world. you know, how I want to be treated and how I want other people to be treated. You know, I hear so many people tell me, you know, my values is no drugs, no this, no that. And then I'm like, seeing them like eating tons of candy and cookie, and I'm like, okay, but this is a drug. You're on drugs with sugar. But okay, but I'm not a drug addict. But that is a drug. So I want you to really look at your values and pay attention, because this is the house that is keeping your entire life together. And people who stand by their values, something really amazing happens. Even if other people want to attack them, because this person is standing by a certain set of values, those attacks come, but they go. They don't really have an impact. This person's life even gets better. So the attacks make this person more lovable, more popular, more strong, better, more successful. The attacks don't work. I remember there was a movie that I used to really love to watch. It was called The Fifth Element. And if you haven't watched this movie, you should really watch it. And there was this terrible force that was going to destroy the earth. And this terrible force, it was in such a way that the more you attacked it, the more powerful it became, because it fed on the energy of other people attacking it, and it got stronger. When you're living by your values, and the value of this terrible force was to be terrible. So what would happen is, when people attacked it, it was because they were afraid, and their evil would come out to want to destroy something. So the more you wanted to destroy this thing, the stronger it became. And the only power in the universe that was finally able to destroy it was the power of love. So the fifth element was love. And that was why it could destroy, because in love there is no evil. So the evil could not stand up to it, and it couldn't get stronger, it got destroyed. I'm asking you to really look at your values and live your life based on those, and then see what kind of a really magical, extraordinary life you have when you're living a life based on those values. And sometimes I see people and they tell me, but Dr. Sayan, I love her, I love him. And then what happens is, because they love somebody, they disregard their own values. And you know what? Maybe they end up with that person. But what happened is, that relationship is going to be a disaster. Because what you did in order to have that relationship is, you destroyed yourself. So that person is actually in a relationship with somebody who is broken, who is dysfunctional, whose values have been destroyed. Good luck with that relationship, really. This is my invitation to you. Write down your values, the most important values in your life. They shouldn't be more than maybe 10, so that you can really actually live your life according to these values. And then, even if you have broken these values before, begin to put your life together by respecting you and standing by your own values and committing to those values and never, ever stepping over them. So that was today's show. Do we have any questions?
Yes, we do.
Tons of questions. Yes.
They asked, what can be our values? Can being wealthy be our values, or studying certain degree, like getting certain degrees, studying so much? Can those things be values? What can we have as our value? How to recognize what are our values?
Well, your values are things that, if everything else in your life fell apart, you still have yourself. In other words, your education like we saw with so many people, is not really about getting a degree. Somebody who's really knowledgeable, who's really educated, and this is their value, to be a knowledgeable, educated person who's a master of a certain knowledge, that can never be taken away from them, no matter if they move to a country where their degree is not honored. But this person is still educated and knowledgeable, and that knowledge and education will help them in their life to do something, because they're still valuable. That knowledge is still valuable. Wealth is not about wealth itself, but the knowledge of knowing how to honor and create wealth, so that if the wealth went away, you can still create that wealth. It cannot be taken from you, because sometimes we know that money can be taken away, or your house can be robbed, or your business can fall apart, or things can happen. But if you are somebody with the knowledge how to create wealth, then you can recreate it. So a value is something that cannot be taken from you. It is something that is always with you, that can never be destroyed. So yes, that's how you decide what a value is. Your value, to be honest, if you're an honest person, it's something that cannot be taken from you. If you're a faithful person, it's something that cannot be taken from you. If you're somebody who believes in health and eating healthy and taking care of yourself, that cannot be taken from you. So those are the things. How you decide what a value is something that no matter what happens, that value is still stable and it's standing with you. So choose your values like that.
Thank you. They sent us a question. It's a woman. She said that one of my values is not to have complete sex before getting engaged. Some intimacy is fine for me, but then when I'm dating, because I don't want to base my relationship based on sex, I want it to be based on trust, love, and kindness.
Right.
But I became 38 years old because when I talk to men and I tell them that this is my value, they cannot wait till we are engaged. She dated with 2 men that they waited 3 months, but then after that they just left her. She's saying that this is really hard for me. I really want to stand by my values, but men do not accept that. What should I do?
Stand by your values. Because you can't step on your values circumstantially and say, okay, if it's easy, I'll stand by it. If it's not, I don't think this is your value. I think this is your game. You're playing a game to say, oh, I don't have sex. Because if it was your value, you wouldn't even be asking me this question. If it's a value, I keep it. No matter what happens, even if people leave me and they don't want me and they don't want to be in a relationship with me, it doesn't affect me. Maybe I would be sad if somebody left, but okay, that was their choice, and I'm still not going to change. Your values are not things that are popular. It's not like other people like your values, so you keep them, but if it got really hard, you go, oh, well, maybe I should change my value. A value is something that is real for you. It's not negotiable. It's not something you sit there and you discuss it with other people and, oh, maybe they change your mind. It's not a political view. It's not an opinion. It's something that really means something to you, that you would not sell it for any price. It's not exchangeable. It's not like, okay, well, if the guy is really cute and if he has a really good job and he comes from a really good family and I really have feelings for him, okay, well, maybe I sleep with him. No. If I say I don't have sex until we're engaged, then I don't have sex until we're engaged. And if he doesn't like that, it's okay, he can go away. But I'm not going to step over myself. And you have to believe that if you don't live your life based on your value, The person who will really suffer is you. Because even if you go and sleep with that guy will not value you because you just devalued yourself. So how could he value you? How could he love you? Because you just said, I'm on sale. My value just got lower. So he's just gonna keep bargaining with you so that your price comes lower and lower. Because you said, I'm not worth what I said I was worth. I'm worth less than that. So values are not something that you negotiate or change.
Thank you so much. Another question is that when we go for dating, how are we supposed to talk about our values? Or do we have to show them by action or actually talk about them and say that these are my values?
If you have to talk about your values, I feel like you're actually putting on a show, or you're marketing, or you're pretending because you want to impress the other person, or you want to say, I'm this kind of person. Values are not something that you have to put on the table. It's something that you are. And it's your behavior and the way that you are being and the way that you conduct your life. If one of my values is beauty and health and education and kindness and honesty and loyalty and joy, if these are my values, it shows. It's not, I don't have to sit there and say, oh, my value is this. No, it shows. I'm living that life. Now, somebody might lie to you, or they may ask you, so what happens if you find out that I lied to you? Now they're asking about your value. And you can say to them, well, one of my values is honesty, and I expect myself to be honest with other people. However, this may not be other people's value, so I have room for people, if it's not their value, to be honest, and I may give them chances to become honest with me. And if I see that that doesn't work, I don't judge them, but I limit my relationship with them, or I'm aware that every time that they talk, I can't really be certain that what they're saying is the truth, so I have a different relationship with them and the things that they say and do. But this is my value in my life. Now, if I was going to marry somebody, then it would be different. I would want that person to have similar values as me, because how else could this life work if my value is honesty and their value is to lie all the time, if my value is loyalty and they are disloyal, if my value is faithfulness and theirs is unfaithfulness, if my value is loving, kind behavior and their value is violence, we don't go together. So if you're choosing a relationship, then you want to be with somebody who shows you through their life, through their behavior, what their values are. And this is really important, that you not listen to their words, but you also really see if those words are in action in their lives. Because values are something we live, not something we say. We have to live it. Somebody says my value is honesty, but you find out they're lying to you, that's not really their value.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Someone said that I recently came to know what are my values, real values, and I'm trying to stand by them. But then people around me that are not used to me being like that are, they think that I'm being cruel or I'm not being kind anymore. I have changed.
Yes.
So how can I adopt people around me to get used to me standing by my values? Like, there's a conversation I should have, or what should I do?
Well, I think the most important thing is to let people know that I realize that I have changed, and that this may be difficult because you're used to me being this way. And I certainly understand that me stay staying with my values or standing for my values or respecting my values may be difficult for you. And I certainly have a lot of room for you to get used to that. What you should know is that this isn't going to change. It's not a phase that I'm going through. It really is me finding respect for myself and valuing myself. This is not against you. This is for me. And forgive me for having been the kind of person who allowed those kind of behaviors in the past. And please forgive me also if this new me hurts you. That's definitely not my intention. However, I'm not going to stop being this way because it hurts you. But that is really not what I'm doing. This is just the consequence of me changing. And I hope that, you know, we can still continue to have a relationship. But if you can't respect my values, that may change. So
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you.
we
so
have to
much.
respect our own values and stand by them, even if other people
Don't.
are uncomfortable. I remember I used to be late. I used to be late everywhere. And I didn't look at it like late. I looked at it like my time and your time are different. Like if you said 8 o'clock, and if I got there at 8:15, that was my time of arrival. And people had gotten used to my time of arrival, so everyone around me was kind of late or upset. And when I became somebody who was 5 minutes early, I realized that other people were kind of like, oh, so what's wrong with you? Or like, you know, why are you upset? You know, you are always late. Or they would come late because they were so used to me being late, you know, and then like I had nothing to say because I had trained them to be this way. And so everybody was like that. And it took about 5 years for most people around me, and there's some people who are still like the way they are, to get accustomed to having respect for our relationship together and arriving on time, or, you know, maybe not on time necessarily, but like a few minutes late, because I'm not there to discipline the whole world. However, I have said to people that my time limit for how long I will wait for you is 10 minutes. So you have a 10-minute grace period, for which time if you don't arrive, this is with my really close friends, for which if you don't arrive, I'm gone. With people I'm not so close with, it takes training. You know, I can't just get up and go. They have to get used to, you know, okay, so this person, you know, on time means on time. So, you know, and that doesn't mean that I'm never late, not at all. But I'm very aware and respectful of time. And if I know I'm going to be late, I communicate with people. Like today, the road from my house to the office was completely blocked. So everywhere I went, there was a roadblock. So I had not predicted this. You know, they don't give out notices. So it delayed me by a few minutes. But I always call and say, look, there is a delay. Please let so-and-so know, or whatever. This is what's going on. So if you don't communicate, people don't know. So it's important that your values are important enough for you that you keep them. And that other people get trained to respect your values as well, because you respect them.
Thank you so much. A woman said that one of the things that I want and is my value in a relationship is for a man to take care of me and be there and provide for me and like take care of me.
Is that a value, or is that an agreement or a preference? That doesn't sound like a value. Because what if he dies? You know, or if he goes bankrupt, or...
Oh, yeah, she said I'm independent, but I want my man to be in charge.
In charge, meaning?
Financially.
Okay.
Yeah. But then when I go on dates, because of the background and the culture that we have, I show that I'm very independent, very strong, and I don't need him to take care of me. And I have this fear.
So the issue is with herself.
Yeah.
So I want you to take care of me, but I can take care of myself. I mean, that kind of is a very confusing message. You know, so the man has to fall in love with you and fight to take care of you. Good luck, really, because you're very confusing. If you want to be taken care of, then when you go out, maybe you want to be somebody who allows them to take care of, to show you whether they're the kind of guy who would take care of a woman. And, you know, not bring out your sword and say, hey, you know, I'm independent. You know, just be a woman who goes out with a man, and then see if he's the kind of guy who opens the door for you, pulls out your chair, takes care of the bill, holds your arm when you're crossing the street. You know, these are little gestures that show you, opens the car door for you, makes sure you sit first, gives you your coat when it's cold. You know, those are little gestures that show you somebody's aware of you. And then, you know, you will see if you have a caring, kind person who wants to take care of you. But give it time. Don't go to a war on your first date.
Thank you.
Sure.
How are we supposed to teach standing for your values to our children? Like at what age and how?
Well, first, you have to stand for your own values so that they have a good role model. And most parents that I see, they have trouble standing for their own values. Yeah. Even with their kids, they say, clean your room. And the kid doesn't clean the room and nothing happens, or there's no consequence, or there's only just yelling and fighting. It's not standing for your values. So you teach them by example. You teach them by helping them. You teach them by showing them. If you want them to be healthy, you teach them by the kind of foods that are in the house, the kind of restaurants you go to, the kind of foods that you allow them to eat or order. You teach them about nutrition. If you want them to be clean, you teach them by having a very nice, clean, organized house. You teach them by picking up their room with them and teaching them to fold their clothes and put it away, not by giving them a maid who picks up after them, because, yeah, I mean, they learn that somebody else would clean my room, but they'll never learn to clean their room. You teach them by, you know, taking a shower every day and teaching them how to take care of their body and brushing their teeth. You teach them by being honest with them yourself, and if they're not, and teaching them the value of honesty by example, and teaching them how good that is, and by reading them stories of heroes that are that way, so that they have a structure in their mind about those values and a story that goes with that value, so that they want to be like that hero, because children learn through stories and images. So you teach children by playing games with them. You teach them by being an example. You teach them by educating them. You teach them by setting consequences for when those values are not being followed. And then you teach them to have their own values by asking them, what is important to you? What if other people are not acting that way really bothers you? What is it that makes you feel satisfied or lovable inside of yourself, and that is valuable to you to be that way? So you ask them questions that guide them to thinking about what is valuable. And then you teach them the difference between what values are and what desires are, or likes, or tendencies, or preferences, or wants. Those are different from a value that no matter what, I'm not compromising on that. So these are different.
Thank you so much. They emailed us a question. A woman said, me and my boyfriend are in a committed relationship for 2.5 years, but then we are just boyfriend and girlfriend. After a year and a half, I asked him to make this relationship official and take it to next level, like becoming husband and wife. But then my boyfriend said that all of other people that are married are leaving behind a happy mask, and why are you in rush to get married? We should just solve all the problems. We are not young. We were divorced before. We cannot risk it. And we did not get married. And after that, that caused me to be cold in the relationship and not being excited in the relationship. And whenever I see a picture of other couples getting married, it really makes me angry. Whenever we are getting into a fight, he's telling me that you have to solve your issue with my daughter, who is 18 years old, and before that we cannot get married. He says that you should have your own apartment, be my official girlfriend, do not live with me and my daughter, but be a good girlfriend till we get married. I don't know how to be a valuable woman, and my value and my goal is to have a marriage and a healthy relationship. And I don't know what to do.
Your value and your goal is to keep this guy. That's your value and your goal. And he is more important to you than you are to yourself, because he is the one who's deciding your values. If you wanted to get married, you would have left a long time ago, because this guy is not going to marry you. Or you would have fixed the things that he's asking you to fix so that you can get married. He's not going to marry you, and I don't think you're able to fix those issues. So the two of you are in an unhealthy relationship that you keep fighting, and you may keep it forever. I mean, listen, there are people who've been in unhealthy relationships for 18, 20 years, and they've been girlfriend, boyfriend until one of them gets tired and leave. Or one of them finds another person, and then, you know, that ends the relationship. I suggest that you get help, because it seems to me like you are punishing him by being cold and angry, even though he didn't want to get married. You agreed to go into a relationship with a man who doesn't want to get married. Then all of a sudden you decided, okay, now I want to get married. He's still telling you, I don't want to get married. And then you keep staying there and saying, I want to get married. Well, if you want to get married, he's not the right guy, because he doesn't want to get married. So really you have to ask yourself whether this is your value, or this is something you say is your value, but you're willing to compromise it, you're willing to negotiate over it, you're willing to change it, you're willing to break it, step over it, and he knows. So he can't value you because you already stepped over your value. So how can he give you marriage if you threw marriage away yourself?
So what's the first step that she can take?
Her first step is to leave the relationship and say, I understand that you don't want to get married. I do want to get married. I care about you, and you would be my first choice. Should you want to marry me, but really marry me, I have stayed in this relationship as long as I could, and I'm going to go and try my other options with other men. And either you'll decide that you want me and come after me, or you'll decide that you don't want me. But if you should come after me, the only way that I'm even willing to have a conversation is if we're engaged. Otherwise, we have nothing to talk about. Nothing. And engaged to be married within 3 months. So please think about it. Don't come after me unless you really mean it, because that's all I'm willing to negotiate. So really mean it. And then, but you have to understand something. Sometimes men, if you do that, they come after you and they go, okay, fine, I'll marry you. But then they'll make the marriage miserable, because that's not what they wanted. They're giving it to you, but they're going to make you pay for it. And then when you are miserable, they go, didn't you say you wanted to get married? Weren't we happy as a girlfriend and a boyfriend? And they'll just they'll do what you ask, but because it's not really what they wanted, they'll make you pay for it. So I suggest that you be with somebody who really wants to get married.
Thank you so much.
It's so much easier.
Yeah. So they asked, there's a woman who asked that I am very strong and I stand by my values, and everyone knows that
You're
they
strong
should
or
not-
you're stubborn?
No, strong.
Oh.
And
Okay.
people knows not to get, not to pass my values and not to disrespect me until it gets to my weak points. I'm looking for a relationship and I want to fall in love, and also I love my career and my job, and in those areas I don't have any values and I don't know how to stand on them. So how is it that I'm very strong in some other places, and then when it goes to things that I really want in my life, I cannot stand by my values, and what to do?
So there is something that has happened to you as a child in the area of relationships with men. And if that pain and that trauma that you have suffered is not healed, you will keep failing at relationships, because it's not that it's your weak point in the sense that you don't know what it is to stand for a value. It's that you can't. You just can't. So you, and that makes you feel worse, and it just keeps repeating the trauma over and over again. So my suggestion is to please get help and to heal what has happened to you, which from the language that you're using sounds like something that happened around the age of 4 onward. And you really need to heal the trauma that you've been through in your life. Otherwise, it's not going to work. You're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. In other words, you may pretend for a little while that you have this value, and then people come forward and they really think you have it, and then they get close to you and they realize, no, it was just a show. You really don't have that value because you can't hold on to it.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Shall I tell them about the dates of the workshop?
Yes.
Yay. Okay.
Especially since we have so many of them coming up.
Yay.
Yay.
Dr. Sayan travels all around the world and doing different workshops.
In Farsi for right now.
Farsi, yeah. But we're going to have it in English hopefully next year.
Mm-hmm.
So Women Only Workshop, the most popular course that Dr. Sayan is leading, Hamburg, February 28 to March 1st, Los Angeles, April 17 to 19, Toronto, June 26 to 28, and Yerevan, Armenia, August 6 to 8. Going to be there, and you can register right now by calling 310-460-2600. Then the workshop for men, Honor, Integrity, and Mastery in Los Angeles, March 13 to 15, Toronto, October 16 to 18, Yerevan, Armenia, 5 to 7th of November. You can sign up for this. And for children aged 9.5 to 16 years old, 2 to 4th of August in Yerevan, Armenia, and in Toronto, 3 to 5th of July, we are going to have these workshops. The question that we regularly get is that for children in Toronto, they do not speak Farsi that fluent. So
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No.
Okay.
As long as they can understand basic Farsi. First of all, the teen workshop, the young children and teen workshop, is Finglish, Farsi English. However, they have to understand some Farsi. It can't be that they don't understand any Farsi. So some Farsi is required. And they have to be willing to, because we give them homework, they have to be willing to do the homework in Finglish or in English. So it has to be English or Finglish. That's it. So, and in Yerevan, most of them, they speak Farsi. So,
Unless they're coming from Europe.
unless they're coming from Europe. And it's really amazing. This has been my experience. We get children in the workshop and they say, I don't speak any Farsi. And I go, okay. Half hour later, we try to give them handouts in English. They're like, no, I want Farsi. So because they're around other teens that speak Farsi, the whole defense mechanism about I don't speak Farsi or I don't understand Farsi goes away. Not only that, kids who refuse to speak Farsi, the parents are shocked. They come to take their children home, and the children stand up because we have a section with the parents. At the end of the workshop, you get to be with your kids, and we have a section that we educate the parents. Your kids will stand up and give a whole speech in Farsi. And you'll be like, when did my kid learn Farsi so good? Because their brain has been trained. They've heard it since childhood at the house. They just blocked it because it wasn't in their environment. And so they just blocked it, like, I'm not Persian. But once they get with all these Persian kids, then they want to speak Farsi. So it's really beautiful. I mean, I see kids all the time who really are amazing in picking up Farsi right away.
After men's workshop, that is the most favorite workshop for me. And they're awesome in the workshop.
The teens workshop is really amazing. And so you should know that if you want your teens to participate in the young person's workshop, that you yourself need to participate in the workshop for adults. The women-only workshop or the honor, integrity, and mastery workshop for men, one parent should have participated in the workshop, preferably both parents. So the men go to the men's workshop, the women to the women's workshop, and the teens to the teens workshop. This is what we recommend.
Yeah.
So the whole family can grow together, because your children will have a new sense of self-confidence and discipline and thinking and being honest and doing their tasks and making new friends and, you know, speaking up and being leaders. And if you don't know what just happened to your kid and what language this child is speaking, you cannot support them and encourage them. So please be aware of the fact that this is the rule. You know, if your child is coming, you need to participate yourself.
Thank you.
Either before or after their workshop.
Thank you so much. We are also going to have a couple of seminars and events. The first event that's going to happen is in Toronto, 3rd of February, Valentine's Gala with Dr. Sayan and amazing Toronto team. You're going to go there and talk with the graduates, the teenagers that got graduated from the workshops. You can ask about their experience, and just being there and seeing them, that how they are with each other, the relationship that they have with each other among themselves. You think that they are like family by blood, but they're really not. They maybe know each other for 1 year or 2 years. So please experience this night's Valentine Gala in Toronto, 3rd of February. Then we are going to have a seminar in Vancouver, from getting to know to lasting relationship, on 8th of February. Again, this seminar is very amazing, sold out, so you just want to get your tickets right now. Then we are going to have another seminar, Art of Winning, in Los Angeles, 4th of March. That the ticket is going to be available for you on the website this week, and you can purchase them hopefully and attend the seminar. The seminars are very unique because so you listen to the seminar, which is awesome, and you take notes that you take home and practice them, and it changes your everyday life. And then also you can ask questions at the end. They're like Q&A, and then you get to talk with Dr. Sayan and graduates and know what this work is about and what result you can get and how you can change your life based on the...
And also the topics can be can fool you, because you think, oh, this seminar is about winning, you know, okay, so I don't need that, I'm a winner. But you have no idea that what even being a winner is. And then when you listen to the seminar, you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize in so many areas of my life I could be winning, and I'm not. I'm only winning over here, whereas I could be a winner everywhere. So it's about really expanding your mind in a way that it has never been expanded before. The same thing with from getting to know to lasting relationship, to lasting love. You think you understand, or maybe you think, oh, I'm so successful in my relationship, or I don't have any problems in my relationship, but maybe you know only this much. And then you come to the seminar and you're like, oh my God, I'm so glad I came, because there is so much that I'm cheating myself in my relationship that I could have, that I could experience, and I'm only experiencing this. Whereas I could have a whole ocean of experiences and love and joy and intimacy and togetherness and closeness that I'm depriving myself of. So I really invite you to come and to experience it.
Thank you.
Sure.
You can purchase your tickets, register for the workshop at our application Embrace Growth or the website embracegrowth.com, or call the office 310-460-2600 or email us at info@embracegrowth.com. We had some difficulties with our phone today, studio phone. We will resolve it for tomorrow and the day after. We're going to have people calling the show in the future days. Thank you for being with us today with our English show, and see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
The Embrace Growth app is finally here. You start by signing in just as you would online, and from there, you'll see all of your account settings. Once in the app, you'll have access to events and all of Embrace Growth's original content. Registering for workshops and seminars is easier than ever, and tools for managing your profile and options are built right in. Schedule private sessions and connect with the global Embrace Growth community. Download it today on the App Store. A haven for the weary soul, a source of inspiration and community, redesigned to bring you meaningful experiences and unforgettable events. We are a worldwide community of vibrant individuals, displayed in the people who are a part of it, from many nations, backgrounds, and beliefs. Through powerful outreach programs, the struggles of everyday life are confronted and conquered, transforming those who participate into the best versions of themselves. One-on-one sessions are available to keep you headed in the right direction, coupled with the best resources to remind you how to live, whether at home or elsewhere. Programs designed for men, providing the building blocks of maturity, commitment, integrity, and leadership, paving the way for productive and fulfilling manhood. Beyond an understanding of masculine leadership is its application in daily life and development into something truly unique. Exclusive training for women, encouraging growth and empowerment through an acceptance of their true identities, redefining interactions, and changing the viewpoint through which life is seen. Embracing the woman within and accessing facets of your personality hidden beneath the surface. Showing our youth the value of integrity and reliability by creating an indwelling desire to succeed with honor, basing the future on a solid foundation of ideals that will guide them through life, leading by example, and showing others how to clearly convey their thoughts in a compelling way, creating a culture of mature leaders who can help others achieve self-confidence and their goals. Real people and real lives are changed for the better. With every event, more are touched and come to an understanding of their place in this world and their community. Embrace Growth is run by a passionate team and led by the diligence and inspiration of Dr. Azita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan, who consistently teach life lessons based on what works, rather than the passing fads of the times.